Good morning, Messy Sisterhood. It's Thursday, and you've almost made it to Friday. Welcome to Thursday Thoughts with the Messy Sisterhood, here on Thursday, October 13th, 2022. First thing I want to do today is say happy birthday to the many people that I know are born today. I didn't realize that I knew quite so many people born today, but the first person that I've ever met born today was my little brother. And being born on October 13th has its ups and downs for sure. We also have some good friends and my new brother-in-law and several other people that are born on today. So if today is your birthday, then happy birthday to you. And sometimes you get lucky, and I say lucky, right? But sometimes you get lucky and it falls on October the 13th on a Friday, but not this year. You're on a Thursday. My brother reminded me that he was born on a Thursday as well. He wasn't born on the Friday. But I hope that today is a good day for you. This morning I jumping on about a half hour later than I usually do, and as I mentioned last week, we did hire a production person that's helping us out, but through the month of October we're going to do the best we can to make sure that Thursday Thoughts happens in the morning on Thursdays. Beginning in November, we're going to start a new schedule for that, so you'll definitely have a 9 o'clock Thursday Thought video every week as our production team starts to take over for those things. So I just wanted to let you know about that. A couple of other things that are going on that are changing for the Messy Sisterhood is that we're going to start having content that is only exclusive to our YouTube channel. So as those kind of things pop on, we'll make sure that we mention them in Thursday Thoughts and are posting on our Facebook page, but the content itself will be exclusive to our YouTube channel. So that's super exciting for us. So what do I want to talk about this morning, ladies? I want to talk about cutting the dead ends off. Now, I don't know how many of you understand, maybe you think it's just for you, but to women, their hair is really important to them. And I think that one of the things that we forget is that while sometimes we take good care of it and sometimes we don't, it definitely makes part of our identity and how we feel. In some cultures, they even cover their hair because it's special, and their hair is only for those in their families and things like that. It's a private thing because it's part of their inner beauty. And I think that we see that when we have friends who go through medical treatments and things where their hair is drastically altered or they lose it. So it's one of those things where sometimes with our hair, we make choices to keep it even if it's not healthy. Okay, so recently I had been growing my hair out. Number one, because I wanted to remember what having long hair was like. I hadn't had long hair since before my oldest son was born, and he'll turn 19 in December. And I've always kept it pretty short, and you guys have experienced that with me here. But when I went in to get my hair cut, my hairstylist, who is a sweet, sweet lady, she looked at me and she said, "How much are you comfortable with me cutting off?" And I said, "Well, I don't want to go short like I was before I was trying to grow my hair out." And she said, "You're going to probably misunderstand this, but your dead ends are so bad. They're so split and frayed." And I was seeing it as length. Okay? They're so split and frayed, they're actually keeping your healthy hair from growing strong. Okay? It's just continuing to like shred up and eat into the healthiness. Okay, and something we say here on Messy Sisterhood is that as it is in the physical, so it is in the spiritual. Okay, so stick with me. So I go in and I said, "Well, how much do you need to cut off?" And she said about 3 inches. Well, 3 inches in my mind was huge. It was huge. And I thought, all of this time that I've been growing my hair, and it's not going to matter because she's going to cut it all off. And I said, "Well," she talked to me and she said, "I can cut 1.5 inches and then you can see how it is." And then, but what I'm telling you is that it won't be able to continue to grow healthy the way you're wanting to grow your hair unless you're willing to part with the parts that are dead. But it looked like length to me. It looked like growth because I could run my fingers through it like this. And even though it was discolored and you could see that it was dry and it was having trouble, I felt like, but look, it's long. And I liked being able to put it up in a ponytail. And I just had in my mind that if I cut that off, that it would be short again. I wouldn't be able to wear a ponytail. I wouldn't be able to do these things. Remembering, especially if you're tuning in and you're not necessarily a woman, that hair is such a big deal to us. And even though we may not say it out loud, it's part of where we feel beautiful. Okay? So I had gone almost a year without a serious haircut so that I could grow my hair. Well, she asked me, she said, "Charlie, do you trust me?" And she's like, "You have healthy hair. It will grow back. If it's too short, I apologize. You know, we'll talk about it and, you know, talk about my fee and things like that." Okay, go ahead, cut it off. And the whole time I was set in my mind of how disappointed I was going to be, how disappointed my husband was going to be, because I talked about how I was letting my hair grow, and he was like, "Wow, that's great. I'm glad you're happy with it." And I was going to walk in with short hair again. And as you can see, it's not short. It's shorter than it was, but it's not short. And I can still pull it back in ponytail. And at the same time, I could feel the weight come off when she cut off the dead ends. I felt my hair lift. I had remembered feeling like my hair was kind of falling out. Like I thought it was getting thin because I'm getting older. I remember feeling like maybe that's one of the reasons I wanted to grow it long, because I kind of felt like the thickness that it used to have, it didn't have anymore. And as she's cutting it off, I'm going, "It's going to be so bad. It's going to be so bad." And I open my eyes and she says, "Okay, what do you think?" And it was beautiful. So we're going to transition, as it is in the physical, so it is in the spiritual, so it is in the emotional, so it is in the mental. What are we holding on to that's dead? Because we think that it's giving us what we're looking for, but really it's tearing up the healthy parts. What in our lives, what in attitudes in our heart, what thoughts, what ways of thinking, what are we clutching onto that's really time to let go of, because it's over, it's dead. Now that's kind of a funny thing to say, because your hair is actually dead cells, right? So all of it's really dead. We're not going to have a biological conversation right now. And I'm not entirely certain why it feels like when you get the dead ends cut off, that then your hair actually feels like it's growing better. But I will say this, it's weight that you're carrying that's unnecessary. It's not feeding it to make it more healthy. Okay? It's not feeding into healthy habits, healthy attitudes, healthy thoughts. And it's, what's the word I'm looking for? It's an illusion that you're reaching the goal you were hoping for. Okay, so those are the three things that I'm working on right now, paying attention to in my life. What dead things am I really holding on to? Because it's weight that I don't need to carry. It's emotional weight I don't need to carry. It's mental weight I don't need to carry. It's physical weight I don't need to carry. I literally, as she began to chop the inches, I thought I was going to feel sad. And I could feel my hair lift again. And it wasn't that I'm losing hair. It wasn't that my hair isn't as thick as it was or any of those kind of things. It was that this extra 3 inches of weight all the way around. I mean, you should have seen the floor when she was done cutting. That it was pulling it down so much that it was literally causing hair to fall out. It was literally, while I was washing my hair and things like that, it was causing hair to just, clumps of hair. And so I didn't want to wash it as often because I didn't want my hair to fall out. It's one of those kind of things, right? But think about that for just a second. Let it rotate back into, as it is in the physical things, it is in the spiritual and the mental and the emotional things. What are we holding on to that's causing extra weight in our life for us to carry that isn't necessary? What's actually not making it, that's actually hurting the healthy things? The split ends were splitting up so far that even once it would get to the healthy hair, it would just start to fray it. So it didn't matter how healthy the hair was. And right now I need to put some serum in my hair. So, we're a little bit of a mess here, the Messy Sisterhood. We just are what we are. We're having a really rainy day here in Maryland too. So blah. But it's not healthy. It's actually tearing up the things that are healthy. And why are we holding on to them? Because we have this opinion, we have this view that, oh, well, it's helping us get to the goal that we want to get to, but it's a fake help. It's a fake help because it's destroying the healthy things and because it's giving us extra weight to carry, right? So what attitudes, what habits are we holding on to that, I'm going to say something that's not going to be popular, okay? What relationships with people are we holding on to that aren't really bringing health to us, that are really giving extra weight for us to carry that isn't ours? Maybe it's bringing a tremendous amount of drama. Maybe it's bringing in a tremendous amount of guilt or shame, vulnerability, all those kinds of things that aren't yours. There's plenty of guilt and shame and vulnerability and resilience and things that are being built in all of us that are ours. But sometimes we get involved in other people's relationships and we shouldn't. We shouldn't. So we carry a weight that isn't ours to carry. It messes up healthy things in our relationships because we're staying attached to this thing that is not healthy for us. And it has this perceived goal that we're accomplishing, but we're not really. You know, maybe it's that we're being a good friend, but what we're really doing is enabling an addiction. Maybe we feel like, well, but I have to do this because this is my family and I have to do these things. And what we're really doing is blocking another resolution or another idea or another person who really could make a better impact than we are. Sometimes we do that because we just want to feel needed. We just want to feel significant. We just want to feel like, and some of us have this misunderstanding, and we think that if there is drama and there is that adrenaline rush of urgency and things that are going on, we start to get in this survival cycle because we feel like, well, look at all we're getting done, or look at all we're helping with, or look at all we're accomplishing, right? And the reality is that we are in a survival cycle, which is not healthy long term. Right? Sometimes we have to be in a survival cycle, but we're making relationships with people based on these survival cycles, and then we're carrying extra weight in our life, whether it's physical or emotional or mental or any of those things. We're carrying unhealthy situations that are eroding at our healthy relationships because we're just in this constant, well, but we have to, and they need, and I need to help them pay their bills, and what if I don't do this, or what if I don't do that? And then we have this perceived goal that we're meeting, but really what we're doing is kind of staying stationary and running in place, and that's so frustrating. So today my Thursday thought is, what are you carrying that you don't need to carry anymore? Are you afraid to cut the dead ends? Are you afraid because and I don't mean cutting off people. That's not what I'm saying, okay? I'm saying take a reasonable step back and ask yourself, is my plate full because I keep piling on top of the already that's there? Or is my plate full because it's a season of fullness? There is a season of fullness. Okay? But if I'm holding things on my plate because I'm afraid that if I don't take it right now, it's never going to come back, or it's my job to take it, or, I mean, because we're using a plate analogy, I already feel like I'm going to vomit, but I'm still putting more on my plate. I'm not self-regulating, right? What are the three things? Is it giving me a burden that isn't really mine to carry? Is it eroding healthy things in my life already? Healthy things that are established, that I know are healthy. And is it deceiving me to think that I'm meeting a goal? This will grow. 3 inches cut off my hair is nothing. It will grow back. But I will always have to pay attention for the dead ends and the healing because we always are going to need to trim it, right? Because if we don't self-regulate, if we don't start paying attention to those things that we sometimes unconsciously are taking on, you know, so-and-so needs a babysitter and it feels like, well, at least I work from home, so I'm home. Maybe those two things don't match. Maybe you really can't, but you've already made the commitment and you feel bad and that mama needs you to do it. And, you know, oh, well, I'll just make it work. Is it a burden that you don't need to carry? Is it eroding healthy things? Are you meeting a goal, but not really? Okay. Sometimes we have to regulate those things. We have to say, no, I know that I said that. I was wrong. I'm not going to abandon you here, but we're going to have to make a new plan. And I'm sorry if that upsets you. I can't pay your telephone bill anymore, grown child, because I am not making the income that I used to make, and it is time now that you are living on your own for you to pay that yourself. It's a burden I don't need to carry. It's eroding other healthy things that I need to be doing. And it might even be eroding my relationship with them because I'm bitter about it, and I shouldn't be because I'm just not being brave enough to talk to them about it. And I'm not meeting a perceived goal. I think I'm helping them, but in the process, I'm depleting my savings over a cell phone bill, and they have a job. They can pay their cell phone bill. It's just an example, you know, but I'm just saying there are things that we take on in our life, and if we are not careful, if we keep looking at the dead ends and we see it as growth, and we don't realize that it's really sabotaging the healthy things, but we're just so desperate to see growth. We're so desperate because that we put our blinders on and say, no, this is a good thing. It's such a good thing. It's such a good thing. Just something to think about this morning. Just something to pay attention to. And it's as simple as we trim it off. We keep moving. More will grow. More will come. We'll have to pay attention again. It's a healthy, self-regulating process. And I don't know why we feel so bad about it, but we do. I do. So it's Thursday, and you've almost made it to Friday. And I pray that by the time we meet together next week on Thursday Thoughts, that maybe you've been able to cut a little bit off that didn't need to be there. I want to take just a quick second to say hello to the people that are commenting. So, hi, Miss Ruth. Hi, Sarah. Hi, Miss Martha. Hi, Patrice. Hi, Niaz. I just wanted to say good morning to you, and I hope that you have a great day. Thank you for being so faithful and joining us here live. And if you're seeing this on the replay, thank you for being so faithful and checking in with us every day, every week, rather. So it's Thursday, and you almost made it to Friday. You're not alone. We see you. God sees you, and we love you. Have a wonderful weekend.